This is the Conscious Hour, and this video is longer than most of my posts, but I want you to watch it real closely. I want you to understand something, what it would be like to be a Palestinian. This young man is 22 years old. He was fortunate enough to leave and go to Ireland. But please watch this video and then take the appropriate actions afterwards to call your elected representative and tell them what you think. This is the Conscious Hour, folks. It's our conscious hour to come together and become the driving force of our government, not the politicians. They get paid. We care about the future. We care about love and humanity. It's our Conscious Hour, folks.
What are the things that they took?
They took a charger, a flask, and some of my clothing. So I wanted to take them back because they mean to me a lot, and they were the only things that I could really take out from
Did they
Gaza.
give you a reason why? Did they say
They didn't give me a reason, but I was seeing like one of the security officers shouting at one of the Palestinians and saying, "Those things, go back to Gaza with them. Don't come with them to Israel." So I felt
about the items?
yeah, about the items. So I felt quite terrified, and I said I wouldn't really, fight with them over some specific things. The main thing, or the priority here, is that I left and I got past them. But I didn't know that there was going to be an Israeli officer to check my ID and interrogate me. So after that, I walked towards him. I was literally shaking. I was shivering with fear. And I approached him, and then I handed over my ID to him. He looked at it. He typed something on the laptop. He had a call. I was just getting, my heart was racing very rapidly, very, I was terrified. And then he had another look at the ID, and my group was waiting on the benches, on the seats, and then he ordered them before telling me to stay. He had a wristband with a number, and he had it over my hand. And then he ordered my group to leave to the other side of the Caribbean crossing to get on the bus, the RCM's bus. But I told him, this is my group, should I join them? He said no. I asked again. He quite raised his voice and said, no, stay here. And I stayed. So I felt something wrong was going to happen. And I felt that.
This is still when you were inside Gaza?
Yeah. And this is just, I felt that moment was going to be the time or the moment of my detention. So I was very afraid. But after 15 minutes, he told me, you can leave. You can go to the Irish Embassy Pass.
And this is exactly what I want to get in with you. Now, that journey, being on the bus, leaving Gaza, and traveling all the way to the other side so you can cross into Jordan. What was that trip? What's going in your mind through that moment?
Well, I never imagined that I would see occupied Palestine, my homeland, my occupied homeland. I never imagined that. And seeing the beautiful green fields, the Dead Sea, the beaches, the lovely weather, Jericho, the mountains, the salty environments, the shells scattered over the beach, the staggering yellow and red dates and palm trees. It was the best thing that happened in my life. It was the dream that we'd love to have every single day. And from that moment, when I first saw occupied Palestine, I knew and realized why all the world was against Palestine, why Israel has been occupying, subjugating, oppressing us for the past 78 years.
And just for context as well, in case whoever's watching.
78 years. Imagine living in Portland, Oregon, in a compound where everybody else is free, but you have to go to a checkpoint if you want to go to the grocery store, or if you want to go to a mall. You'd have to go through a checkpoint. And we think this is okay. Remember, they're telling us that Hamas is the terrorists. Well, he's a Palestinian, and Hamas is simply the protection. It's the only protection they have. Otherwise, they would have been dead a long time ago, all of them, because of those white extremists.
I was like, no, even prior to what's happening right now, there's been a complete siege on Gaza by Israel, land, air, and sea. So this is a very rare opportunity for any Palestinian from Gaza to...
But I told you something maybe at the start of this interview, that I never, when I set foot here in Ireland, I said one thing to myself, that it didn't have a single moment of life in Gaza. And that can be interpreted as that there was no life in Gaza. It was just a concentration camp where 2 million people are being daily tortured, or were being daily tortured, and they are still being tortured. But this concentration camp has shrunk. And then Israel has turned it into half of this concentration camp, where the killings, the mass killings, bombings, are happening very, very, very massively, unprecedentedly.
And then you got into Jordan, and then from Jordan you got to Istanbul, and from Istanbul you came here.
Yeah.